it is, Ik-jun. Finally! What? I can't be too loud. Finally! Yes! Hey, what's up guys? Now I know the quick reaction and my review video are in two different locations. There was a short notice situation that it couldn't be helped. It is what it is. Now for this intro, I don't have a good one. The only two things I'm gonna say is one, I love this episode, and two, finally! So at the beginning of the episode, we see Song Hwa walking into Ik-jun's office. She left a bag and a note. At that moment, it's actually Ik-jun's birthday. It was a nice, funny scene after that, just seeing Song Hwa forget her purse. The first time was in Ik-jun's office, the second time was in her car. Then, the next scene, we are reminded that a doctor from Yulje Hospital is injured. And I remember in my last review, I said that Ik-jun could be the one who was injured, but I also said someone else. I can't remember in my last review, but then come to find out, it is Ik-jun. Then Ik-jun is in the ER. He was told that Song Hwa is here. He does smile a little bit, so we know Ik-jun is there, you know. And we learned that Ik-jun, he has a fractured skull. He was bleeding, but not much. And also, he's very drowsy, you know, he's sleepy, which makes sense because he was struck in the head. And the others, Jeong Won, Junan, Seok Hyeong, and even Song Hwa, they are really, really worried about him, wanting to catch the culprit, not tell Uju, call his parents. For Song Hwa, she doesn't want to leave his side. And this is that type of event that, as a viewer, when you're watching this, this is the moment where you're saying that, okay, so these two are gonna get together. Then we get a flashback to 1999. We see a young Song Hwa wrapping her gift. It's for Ik-jun, it's his birthday, and the gift is pretty much the same. It's a hat. Well, it's a cap, but it's two different caps. The one in the present time says NYC. The one in the flashback has a P on it. And she went to go see Ik-jun. Ik-jun is playing the guitar. She asked him, do you want to have dinner? But he says he can't. He has a blind date. Song Hwa even tried to convince him to move it to another date, but he said, I can't because I asked a friend to set it up. And then we see Song Hwa walking away, tearing up. And if you look at Ik-jun, he does look at her as she's walking away. In my mind, I couldn't help. Did he lie to her? Or did he knew or something? But yeah, that kind of caught me off guard there. And then we're in the present time. We see Song Hwa at Ik-jun's side, right next to his bed. And what's crazy is that she never got to give him his gift on his birthday. Not back in 1999 because he had a blind date, and not in the current time because of him being injured. That's crazy. There was a nice and cute funny moment when Song Hwa and Ik-jun were playing a card game, and Ik-sun, she was there. She saw them being lovey-dovey, and then she stepped out of the room. And then when Junan was about to go into the room just to check on Ik-jun, she told him, don't go in there, they're acting really lovey-dovey. Junan's like, oh, they're not dating, they're just friends, you know, yada yada. But when he went in there and saw Ik-jun and Song Hwa be lovey-dovey, just his facial reaction says it all. It's so hilarious. Then we see Seok Hyeong and Mina on their date. Well, we see them after they had dinner, they're going to the movies, and just seeing Mina smile from cheek to cheek, seeing them at the movies, I've been waiting for this. I have. It has taken, well, if you count the last episode of season 1, that's 1, and adding 11 episodes of season 2, so basically I've been waiting 12 episodes for this moment to happen, and it finally happened. When Jeong Won's mom was also at the movie theaters, what a coincidence, she was there with Chairman Ju, and when they got to talking, she was like, you're always so down every time I see you, now you're so happy. Are you two on a date? And when Seok Hyeong said yes, Mina's facial reaction was the same reaction I had. Just, finally! The one thing caught me off guard though was when Jeong Won's mom thought Seok Hyeong was moving to the US. He said, of course he's not moving, but let her believe that. I don't know. I don't have a guess. But if you guys can have a guess, have at it in the comments below. But I don't know what he's planning, to be honest. And then after that, we see Ik-jun. He's all better now. He's basically leaving to live with his parents, you know, just to rest and relax for a bit, because he's not going to be working for a while, because he's not 100% to work yet. And what was cute was he actually called Song Hwa. They got to talking, and we see him in her office, and what he said was really cute was, I wanted to see you first before I leave because I know how worried you are. So it was a nice moment. And then after that, we get Mina and Seok Hyeong again on their date. And this is where Mina asked him the question, you know how I feel, but I don't know how you feel about me. And that's what Mina asked Seok Hyeong. Seok Hyeong did try to beat around the bush a little bit. He asked, what if I was a freak or something like that? And that was his way of worrying about Mina, because he did say, Mina, you're acting really reckless right now. But then Mina said, well, you know I'm a good person. I'm a better person now, so you don't have to worry about me. And then Seok Hyeong eventually answered her question, yes, we're seeing each other. Yes, you know, they're together. So yeah, finally. Then towards the ending of this episode, the first one is Eun Mi. Eun Mi, she had the fastest character development that I have ever seen. At the beginning of the episode, when Gil and Mina were talking, they were basically talking about the nurses below them. You know, there is seniority. Mina did say that Eun Mi was very quiet. She's not very talkative and all of that. She would rather write papers and stuff like that rather than help patients. But after Eun Mi witnessed Seok Hyeong and Mina help a patient give birth to their child, and just being there, just physically being there, that got her to break out of her shell and really talk a lot. And what's funny that Mina told her to be quiet and start eating. So yeah, it was a nice moment. The next scene after that was a lesson. Well, I wouldn't say a lesson, but more of helping someone get through being down, because Dr. Kim, he was trying to help a patient and just like pressing on his chest to revive him, but in the end he couldn't, and he was feeling down because he couldn't save a patient. But Jeong Won came in and really helped him out, saying that yeah, we can't save every single patient, but the fact that you're thinking about this proves that you are a good doctor. And in my opinion, that was a good moment to really help someone going through that type of moment. For me, I can only imagine. But to see that, it's something that you definitely can appreciate. Also, I do not want to forget about this moment. Cheong makes a cameo. He makes a cameo, but it's only a flashback cameo though. But yeah, that's something that I didn't want to leave out. For the ones who don't remember Cheong, he was the one that had a crush on Song Hwa, which I thought was going to be a love triangle between Song Hwa, Ik-jun, and him. But yeah, he came back for a cameo, which was pretty cool. Caught me by surprise. Then we get to my favorite scene in this episode. It is the very last scene. We see Song Hwa and Ik-jun in the car. First, they were talking about Uju and stuff, and then when it was raining, there was lightning. Song Hwa said, hey, you want to watch the lightning? Ik-jun got coffee, ran back into the car. When he ran back into the car while it was raining, it reminded me of that one scene from season 1 where Song Hwa left the car because there was an emergency, and Ik-jun had to run around the car, close the door, and come back into the driver's seat. So, well, I'm not saying that that was their intention, but it did reminded me of it. Now, at first, after they got their coffee, it was a little awkward. It was a little quiet. Song Hwa said, I'm not in a rush, so let's just have our coffee. Ik-jun, when it comes to awkwardness and quiet, it does not mesh well with Ik-jun, because he asked, hey, you want to listen to music? Let's turn on the radio. Hey, it's pretty chilly in here or something, you know. But then Song Hwa got the courage to actually speak up about her feelings. Well, first she said, it's a little embarrassing, so I want you to look forward. She said when she found out that it was Ik-jun who was injured, she thought of, man, I should have told him I liked him. And if your feelings for me hasn't changed, how about we start seeing each other? And, yo, I was just like this. I was like, well, inside, I was like, you know, it's finally happening. And Ik-jun, he didn't have to say yes. He didn't have to say okay. Matter of fact, he didn't have to say anything. And he didn't. The only thing he said was, I'll give you my answer. Leaned in and I'm gonna say this word one more time. Finally! So my impression on episode 11, it was definitely worth the 1 week wait. Episode 11 was delayed. The show did went on hiatus, which I thought, man, again? You went on one before the second half of the season, and then you go on hiatus again for episode 11. And to be honest, it was worth it. It was definitely worth it. They delivered in this episode. This episode was one of those episodes where it's kind of like a finally episode, you know, after all that waiting, after all of that story building, it finally happened. You know, here's the climax and whatnot. Ik-jun being injured, I kind of suspected it, but I didn't want it to be, you know, because I did say it was either Ik-jun or someone else, but it turns out to be Ik-jun. Even though I did suspect him to be injured, but at the same time, it kind of caught me by surprise. You know, Song Hwa and Junan's eating scene will never get old. Never. There has to be, well, there should be a special episode after season 2 of them just eating. No talking, just eating. The only talking that they should do is Song Hwa telling Junan, hey, try the pork, or try this, try that with that. And that's it. They should have a mukbang video. They should. I do like that Seok Hyeong and Mina are officially a couple, because yeah, I've been waiting 12 episodes for that. 12. That's 11 episodes for season 2 and the last episode of season 1, so 12 episodes. So finally they are officially together. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention what Seok Hyeong said after he said yes, we are seeing each other. He said well, after he said yes, we are seeing each other, he tells Mina, you can stop confessing your feelings now. So I was like, oh, that's a good touch. I like that. And for Song Hwa to confess, I feel like this was a good situation to have Song Hwa really come out and confess her feelings. Just the story of Ik-jun being injured, Song Hwa feeling like, oh man, I think I'm gonna lose my chance to confess how I feel about someone because of their injuries. And yeah, this was the perfect way. I wouldn't, well, as a fan, you don't want to see your favorite characters injured or anything, but like story-wise, yeah, it was a good touch to it and I can't complain. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the episode and my review. If there's anything I might have missed, please leave it in the comments below. Other than that, if you like this video, leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. See ya.